Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Craven's second audio commentary of StarCraft Broodwar. Today we'll be looking at the Zerg player Com versus the Terran player Fantasy. This game was played about a year ago, and the map's going to be Icarus. One of the soon to come remakes of the original Nintendo game coming out for the 3DS. But more importantly, this game is all about, is Fantasy gonna beat Com? A Fantasy well known for his mech play, for dropping vultures into the Zerg base, and basically using that timing to get the Zerg right when they're transitioning either to Mutalisks or to Hydralisks. There's Fantasy right there, scratching his nose, having some very spiffy glasses there, and they always wear those ear covers, the sound insulators, and I had never understood that because why are there wires coming out of it? If it's supposed to be soundproof, then obviously the players have to hear the game, but who's to stop them from listening on to their coach whispering them, "Hey, Com's about to go 4-pull on you, so better go 5 racks." Anyways, here's the game. 3, 2, 1, and begin. So we have the observer, and he's gonna go with neither one of them. Oh my gosh, you never see that. Always, the observer is gonna ally one of the players. I don't know why. I guess it's for superstition or something like that. Or maybe it's their own personal preference. But on this map, we're gonna see that it's the players are in fairly close positions. We have the Zerg, the blue Zerg Com at the top, and we have the orange Terran at the left. I'm not sure what those statistics right there mean. 12 and 7 sounds pretty good to me. Probably, I don't think that's. I think that's too good to be Com's record, and it's probably something more specific like Com's record against Terran players. Something like that. But we have Fantasy not trying to block off his choke, which is very normal for Terran versus Zerg play. And we have the Zerg player, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, getting that Overlord. And then moving those larvae to the left side just at the right moment to pump out the 12 drones. Making sure all the larvae on the left side so that they pop right next to the minerals. And if you didn't know how to do this, it's really easy. What you do is you select an overlord and you select the larvae and you repeatedly press the stop button and also a direction that your overlord, normally the direction that your overlord was going in. And what you really want to do is you want to tap the stop button a couple times, and then you want to start clicking that overlord, clicking the overlord and larvae to go somewhere, and then mix them up so that you're pressing stop and then go, stop and then go, and very quickly you'll see all the larvae going to the left side of the hatchery. But don't let that distract you, though, because these are pros. They have 5 billion APM, and they're able to do, whatever they need to in order to get ahead early on in the game. Of course, they have their little workouts where they just spam up to 1,000 APM during the first 30 seconds or 2 minutes of the game where there's nothing really going on. So that kind of thing is helpful to get your APM up, but more importantly, it's helpful. It's helpful. And we have the Zerg here. He went for obviously for the 12 hatch and then directly into the pool, and the pool's up now. He's probably going to get one set of lings, and he also got a third hatch, and this third hatch was placed very early, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I've heard and I've seen Zerg players often use a 3 hatch against a mech build. I'm not exactly sure the whole reason, but apparently getting those extra units out there and having that delay in the beginning, which now it's making more sense to me, that's going to allow them to make up for the lack in tech, or at least lack in the speed of the tech that the Zerg's getting. Now we have the two Marines moving up here. There is the sunken colony, and there are the starports. What a jerk! Going for the starports. He's gonna be getting the raise to take out first probably take out an overlord, and second probably take out some drones. Um, Knowing that the Zerg has no ability to really defend all of the area that he has chosen to take so early, and here the first wraith is on its way, and we have four lings coming up, but thankfully Fantasy's smart. He's blocked it off with an SCV. It's not completely blocked by the SCV, but it's going to block enough of the Zerglings so that if the FCV is placed in the center of the ramp, the lings are going to be able to only get one ling able to attack a marine, but the other three lings would have definitely been able to attack the SCV. Now here's the wraith coming out, takes a spot for the overlord. Probably saw it, but he needs to start on that drone harass. And this is so smart. He's already got a Hydralisk out, and as soon as that Wraith started to attack that drone, he moves that drone out of the way so that he's not able to single it out. Now, this Wraith is taking a little punishment, and the Ling and the scouting SCV is making sure that he's not going for a third base, which would just be death. I would think for both players, because if he went for a third base, that would leave him set up to even more room that he would have to cover and have to protect. I'm sure that Spire is going to be on its way, and it surprises me that Fantasy is going to go for the control tower, because that's definitely a sign that he's going to be going for the cloak. And cloak's great if you're able to get some of that early harassing. It doesn't seem like it's really a viable choice where you're not able to get any harassing, because Com's just gonna start upgrading. He's gonna get that range. He's gonna get Overlord speed. He's gonna get Hydra speed, and there's not enough there to for Fantasy to really attack at. I could see the one way I could see it working is if Fantasy keeps Com all the way back in his base, and I mean all the way back in his base. No Hydras coming out there. That would be the way to go. But as it looks right now, that was a really nice snipe. He just peeked in there, had the range to get that one drone, and sniped it off. And that's basically what you want to do. I don't really see a way for Fantasy to. He obviously can't bring out the win just through these races. It's gonna be is are his race doing enough harassment to make those races valuable for Fantasy. But so far, it's not working out. He's got, 2-3 drone kills. He hasn't lost any race, and that's really important. And I haven't seen the Spire yet either. Here's a race. Oh, no, I can't get in there without them seeing it. And there's 3 more rays, and Fantasy is piling him on. Fantasy probably has close to 10 rays right now. Rays and Hydras don't exactly go toe to toe. Fantasy is trying to destroy those overlords so he can get some serious damage in there. And he's at the same time trying to keep Fantasy all the way back. But, I mean, Fantasy hasn't expanded. He hasn't taken advantage of keeping Com all the way in the back. And he's almost playing into Com's game because he's not gonna he's never gonna be able to stand up toe to toe against the Hydras, and eventually, Com with two bases is going to be fine with pushing out with a group of Hydras. Now, predictably, Fantasy is not sticking purely with the Rays. He is getting some Marine Medics, which is a great combination to have against Hydras. It's probably the best. Besides, of course, some tanks. Tanks are great. Tanks are the reason why Terran win. But, not in this game, but generally. Now, there are two lurkers right there. I don't think Fantasy knows anything about those lurkers. I think that those lurkers could be a bane of the Terran's existence if he moves out too far. He doesn't have to move out that far though. He really just has to take his expo, his expansion right there, which he's not doing yet. But he doesn't have any tanks either, so. Oh, oh, getting the one shots on the overlords. That is awesome. That's a true testament as how many raids are there. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. No! And he loses at least what 7, 8 Marines, and Com's gonna move right in. It doesn't look like. I mean, has he? He hasn't started his expo, at least not in the expansion spot. Um, but Com is definitely moving in there. Has two lurkers right below the ramp, shooting upwards. The Marines can't get into the fray, and the Rays are now just the Fantasy just scanned the Rays and was able to pick out the lurkers, and now he's going to try to keep on defending. And this is not good. This is not good for a Terran player who's going for Rays, who needs to be in there harassing. To be pushed back so far, this is the opposite of the way the strategy is supposed to go. He's just losing unit after unit to those lurkers, even though they're not even up the base. And tanks out. Seven Hydras there and a lurker, and that tank's gonna get fried. I mean, at this point, it's really time to pull out those SCVs. Doing some great micro just back and forth with those Rays, but Fantasy is not going to be able to cut it. He's got six SCVs. Not to laugh at him at all, because I would lose at the 1 minute 30 mark. But that is GG, Fantasy GG's. Com's going to be your winner for today, and as Com's prize, he is claiming a person from the crowd to sacrifice. Actually, he's going to sacrifice a person from the crowd after he's given his friends all the germs that he had on his hand, and then he's going to give that germ to a lucky person in the crowd. But we're not going to get to see that today. We're going to move on to the next match, and hope to see you there.